I'd say around the age of 4, my family and I moved to Athens. I have an older brother and a younger sister.
When I was 9 years old, there was a terrible accident in my family. The policemen were at the door, and at that time, I was an orphan. I had no parents.
From there, we moved to Oconee and lived in a trailer park, which eventually ended in my father going to prison. And my mother, due to childhood illness, is on about a 3rd grade level, and so she wasn't equipped to take care of us. So then we ended up in the foster care system with the state of Georgia.
And for the next 3 years, I went from foster home to children's homes to foster homes, back and forth. And at the time I was living in Florida, and I got transferred to Georgia. So I did not know exactly where I was going to.
I was taken away on my 12th birthday, so about 3 months after I turned 12, I came to Christian City.
The first day was very scary. The last 3 years I went through so many families that wanted me, but didn't keep me. So when I arrived at Christian City, I remember standing there and thinking, oh no, here we go again.
It was a big change, and then it was also it's a multicultural environment, so I mean there's lots of different races, and I mean it's people coming from all over with lots of different backgrounds meshing into one family, so it was an interesting change.
But I was introduced to Malcolm and Pat Asby at the time, and I can remember looking at this lady, and she was just grinning from ear to ear, and she came over and gave me this humongous hug. At the time, I couldn't even breathe, but it was one of those great hugs that you never forget.
I wasn't really the nicest kid to be around, so I mean, you know, I had lots of attitude and mouth, and you know, if somebody said something, we had little sparring matches verbally. So it took a while to adjust to living with 8 different people who had occasionally clashing personalities, and so I mean, it was an interesting adjustment.
For the first time in my life, I knew I had a place to come home to. Every day I came home, I knew there was a place at the table for me. I knew there were parents that loved me and wanted to know how I did in school, what my week was like and things like that. So it was an awesome experience.
I started at Oxford College of Emory out towards in Covington, Conyers area, and that's where I spent my first 2 years, and then I transferred to the Goizueta School of Business at Emory's main campus, and I just started there this school year.
But the Asbys in Christian City made me realize that I could do anything I wanted to do. They built up my self-esteem. They loved me. I loved school. I participated in sports. I was a cheerleader. They were there for me all the time. Currently, I am a trustee on the board for Christian City. I've been a member about 3 years now. It is so rewarding knowing that I can help Christian City and the children out there. It's what Christian City did for me. I would not be sitting here today if they did not help me. They gave me a home. They gave me love, unconditional love that any child would want. And that's all I was starving for, and I believe Christian City saved my life, and I believe in giving back to them. I really do. Christian City is always going to be there for me. It's my home. At Christmas time, I know I can come here and visit my house parents. They've retired, but they still live on the campus. I know they're going to call me on my birthday. I'm going to call them on their birthday. It is my home. It's where I belong.
So we grew up in government housing in Athens, not too far from UGA actually. We were about a mile or so away, so it was within walking distance. We could hear all the noise when there were football games, and when the Olympics came, it was a huge deal.
I went to the University of Georgia, and I'll tell you why I chose University of Georgia. Living at Christian City, every Saturday in the fall, me and my house parents and the other girls would sit down and watch the University of Georgia football team play. And I knew when I was about 16 years old, that is where I wanted to go. So who gets to introduce Coach Richt, though?
Oh, y'all are.
Yes.